Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Workshop Wednesday. I am Chanel Power, founder and CEO of Mentor Me Collective, and we exist to power the next generation of empowering, impactful leaders of the technological world. We're super excited to have you. If this is your first time, please let us know in the chat. If you are returning, definitely let us know as well. And if you are a scholar, put hashtag scholar in the chat. Big energy, big energy, big energy. We have an incredible speaker today, and I'm so excited. I'm also very honored to have her as well. Has an incredible background, and we're going to get into that in just a second. But first, as we all say, announcements. Awesome. Y'all, we have our Google Cloud Launchpad program launching or I guess the application's closed next week, Friday. So if you are interested in continuing your learning with us, if you are in cybersecurity, data analytics specifically, or just want to understand more about cloud technologies, please make sure that you sign up. Again, applications do close on July 3rd. The cohort starts in August. Welcome, first time visitor. Welcome. It says LinkedIn on our side, but that's okay. We see you. That's all that matters is that we see you. Please tell Lottie Dottie and everybody that we are live. Tell your fellow scholars. And also, if you're just interested in just understanding more about AI and also understanding why is there so much hype, and also is there a space for you to be able to debunk that. Again, we have an incredible individual with us today, Mikal. She is incredible. She's a data analyst at Boeing. So for those of you who are aerospace enthusiasts, let me see some plane emojis in the chat. Baby, we love a good vacation, and 9 times out of 10, we are using a plane to get there. Hashtag Delta girly. I'm very much a Delta One girly, but we're not going to get too much into that. Moving along strong, she specializes in leveraging data-driven insights to solve complex problems. She has a background in grounded analytics. She also brings practical, reality-tested perspective to all conversations around artificial intelligence. And of course, data is at the core foundation of that. So we're super excited to have the most amazing Mikal join us. Welcome to the stage.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much, Chanel. And thank you everyone else. I appreciate for inviting me and, to make it share my experiences to Mentor Me Collective.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited to have you. Like I said, you have an incredible background, and I know that we're definitely going to get into that shortly. But first, we are going to play a round of this or that. This or that. So we invite you all who are tuning in to the chat to answer as well. You can drop your answers in the chat. So let's lean into a nice speed round of this or that. Now, clearly today we're talking about AI, but I would love to hear from you. Are you an open source girly, or would you prefer proprietary software?
I prefer open source.
Okay, tell me why.
Because open source there are a combination of it's a source where some sources can be paid or not paid, so it's always better for me just for my work as
I
I
love
open source.
I love that so much. Now, as you are working and doing all this incredible um, automations, AI, all the things, data analytics, do you prefer working remotely or in person?
That's a very good question. I can say both.
Hmm.
Why? The reason why I prefer both is if it is in person is because you can leverage communication, you can interact more with your colleagues. But if it's remote as well, it's just you can have more time. Especially me, I live in Seattle, which is it's too much to commute back to to my work. So to avoid all these things, is also remote can be better, and you can do more things as well, and also you can collaborate with the team. Some of them living in India, some of them in a different part. So that can be a pro. But so both of it is like it's a pro and it's a con for me.
I love that. That is so cool. I think I would definitely say, I don't know, lately I've been really loving the remote life. I've been enjoying it. I feel like it just gives you, like you mentioned as well, there's so much flexibility and the ability to meet across time zones. And you know what? I will say there is space for in-person. Of course, sometimes you do miss the human interaction of it. But anywho, moving along strong. If you had to choose, especially now in this AI world, there's so much to learn. Would you prefer learning and diving into a completely new skill, or deepening your knowledge on an existing skill?
Could you repeat the question? I kind of it breaks original.
Sure. So, because there's so much going on in the world, and of course, there's so much opportunity to learn, would you prefer to learn a completely new skill, or would you prefer deepening your knowledge on an existing skill?
Wow, that's really it's a good question. Um, if I prefer to learn a new skill or if I prefer to learn to an existing skill. So I can say is, especially in the tech world, skills are transferable. So even though, of course, technology is creating different kinds, I mean, it's just different tools or different platforms, but I can say is I would just me as Mikal, I would prefer to just deepening the skill that I have, but also is I would like to create a connection because
Mm,
um, different is like they are like connected. So if you're like from Python, it's just Python can be different from SQL, but deep down is all of them. Whenever you just I wanted to query data or something, it's a preference. So for a big data, or if I want to go for big data or something, it's just So I would prefer on my own is to understand the foundation because the foundation is everything else. So just to again to go back still my foundation and find what am I good at and where I can create the value of whatever just new tools is coming for.
wow, that's really cool. I love that response. I feel like it's very nuanced, and I think, yeah, it makes me, hmm, that's good. I think for me, I I love learning new things, but I would prefer to master one because I feel like if you're a master at something, there's always going to be space for you. And I feel like the learning journey sometimes, it can be a long one, it can be a short one, but if you spend as much time as you can mastering one concept, one component, I feel like you'll always have a runway towards success. So I love that. Couple more questions. Couple more questions. Would you prefer or do you leverage AI mostly for productivity or AI for creativity?
I would leverage AI for creativity.
Hmm. Okay. Awesome. What do you use it for?
So I use it for is to actually find. I mean, uh, build something from what I know because AI actually, in its way, leveraged me some of the tech stacks that I know. Therefore, this helps me to what's called to create a connection and to add extra. I think to add extra spicy to what I know.
Hmm.
So for creativity part, yes, I would use AI.
I love that. Very, very cool. And I think our final question, of course, AI allows us, or data in general, can tell so many different stories, but it also can prove what kind of metrics we can use to move the needle. So, when it comes to your journey and how you've leveraged data, do you prefer leveraging data to prove metrics to be true or false? Or do you prefer data to prove customer stories or that will enlighten customer stories?
If I understand it correctly, if I use data to either to leverage customer stories or the second one is what's the second one?
Good question. I guess the clarity of the question is, with vast amounts of data, do you prefer leveraging it for metrics or do you prefer leveraging it for customer success stories?
Um, at the end of the day, is of course I would prefer for customer success stories because customers themselves are the data themselves. Therefore, to just understand the nuances of the data and just to dig deeper is having much more of interactions and of with the customers because that's where the real data and the real problem exists. So from my own, yeah, I would go for customers.
That's awesome. I think you just, yeah, I'm definitely gonna say the same thing. Love to hear the voice of the customer. They tell us like what's working, what's not, but also too sometimes it's some really cool edge cases that you didn't even realize the tool could do because you built it maybe to do X amount of things, but now you see that it actually can do Y. So, anywho, we're super excited to have you, and I'm excited to allow you to just lean into your presentation. I am going to share screen here. Um, Everyone in the chat, again, let us know where you're tuning in from. Please feel free to give us a thumbs up if you all can see this. And yes, over to you, Mikhail.
Thank you very much, Now. Thanks a lot. Thanks, all audience. Um, I would begin firstly. Thank you. She made the introduction. If somebody is joining late again, my name is Mikal, and of course, thank you for spending part of the day with me. So, before we walk on, before we talk about AI, machine learning, data science, or the skills you need to break into this field, I would like to start with a situation that many of you would face one day. I want you to imagine you are in the first week as a data scientist. You have just settled in your desk, you open your laptop, and you're excited to make an impact. Then it's 8 a.m. and a message happens to come from your CEO, which is saying the revenue is down by 30%. Customer turns, customer orders getting down by 25%, and profits are down by 40%. And the message simply says, what happened? Now, here's the catch. You have a leadership, the same thing, meeting in an hour as well. What would you do first? I want you to take a moment, and I want you to put your idea in here. I'm going to press a poll, and I want to hear your thoughts in here. So I want you to choose from our poll. Interesting. Some of us want to build forecasting model. Some of us want to investigate the data. And some of us want a dashboard entirely as well. Nice. Nice. See the data. Perfect. 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 Investigate the data. Amazing. Cool. So here's the thing. I want you to keep the answer in your mind, because by the end of today's session, I want to see whether your answer changes. But I don't want you to overthink it. I just want you to put it on your mind or on a piece of paper. Perfect. So before I continue, I would like firstly to tell you a little bit about how I got here. My path into a data science wasn't a straight line. I actually started as a mechanical engineering because I loved solving problems. But like many people entering into this field, I thought if I learned technical skills enough, programming enough machine learning, and eventually I would become a great data scientist. So I did what most ambitious people do. I took courses, I learned programming, I studied statistics, I explored machine learning, and of course AI as well. And all of that was valuable. But when I started working on real business problems, and that's when something surprised me. Because the hardest problems were not the technical ones. The hardest problems were not building a model as well. It was the hardest problems were not writing a code. And as well as the hardest problems were not understanding the problem. But the hardest part was understanding what actually stakeholders they actually needed. And the hardest part for me was understanding the problem, understanding whether the data could answer the question. Therefore, one lesson has changed the way I think about data science. The people who created most value were not always the strongest programmers. They were the people who connect the data to decisions, the people who could communicate, and they are the people who could ask the right questions. So let me ask you all a question again. When someone says data scientist, what's the first thing which comes to your head? I want to hear your answers in the chat, please. More engagement. What's the first thing which comes in your head, in your mind, actually? Okay, some of us might can say we need Python, we need ChatGPT, neural network. Perfect, predictive model, machine learning, Excel sheet. Perfect, perfect. Find the unknown, amazing. Exactly, exactly, data. Thank you. So, yes, so most people actually think data science is all about tools, learning Python, training neural networks, building machine learning models. And don't get me wrong, those things are really important. But here is the question I want you to think about. Is this really what company is paying for? I need a quick answer. Because I want to know, does a company hire someone because they know Python, or they hire someone because they can solve problems? Yes, true. Perfect. No. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, I got you. So let me just attach with my personal story. Actually, I have never ever seen a leader who wake up and say, "I wish we have, more SQL today." Because what actually leaders actually want is clarity. They want better decisions and they want answers as well. So, which brings us something I learned after working on a real world problems are companies don't create values from tools, but companies create value when better decisions lead to a better outcomes. Thank you for the engagement, audience. So, thank you very much. So let's go back again. What I want you to walk you how everything starts. So everything actually starts here. It starts here. It's the problem because there is a challenge, something is not working, something needs improvement. So this is where this is our problems. Then someone has to make a decision. Should we invest? Should we change direction? Should we launch? And should we investigate? And later on is the business impact. And that decision creates a real outcome, which is more revenue, lower costs, better customer experiences, and less risks. Therefore, data science is not valuable because it creates models, but it's valuable because it helps people to make better decisions. And that's what a company are actually paying for at the moment. So I will need some of your engagement as well from your audiences. And I wanted to hear what's your biggest challenge at the moment. Is it going to be from learning Python, projects, statistics, interviews? I want to hear your interactions in the poll, please. Models, perfect. Statistics, perfect. Learning Python, perfect. Perfect. Because I want to learn, I show you, because I want, before I show you what a data science actually looks like, I really want to learn about you as well. Thank you. And also, this is another question. How many of you in here are students? I want to put in here students. And how many of you in here are career changers? I want you to put career changers. And the same thing, how many of you are already working in data? And I want you to put data as well. Perfect, perfect. I'm just saying a lot of people are getting interviews, confidence. Thank you. And I want you to answer the previous question as well. Perfect, perfect. Nice. Yeah, sure. I'm hearing some of your students, career changers, working in data. Interesting. Interesting. Perfect. So I can see a lot of people in here are selecting getting interviews. Confidence, the same thing. So here's the reason why I ask is because most people think their biggest obstacle is technical. But often the real challenge is knowing how to apply those skills into real problems. I want you to I'm going to discuss it more in my next slide. So, because this is where the change is how you think. So let me show you how something has changed in my perspective. When most people learn data science, where do they start? They start in Python, machine learning, models, from what I've been learning, from what I've been seeing in the chatbots. Yes. So this is how people are this is how people are starting from Python, machine learning, models. This is at this part. This is how they're starting, which is among the data and the insights. This part, which is imagine most people we are starting somewhere in the middle, but great data science are start somewhere else. Guess what? Where they're going to start? They are going to start with a problem here, problem in question. That's where they're going to start, but not in here. Because imagine everything starts not AI, not Python, not SQL, but it's just a problem. That's how everything is going to start. So I want you again to refresh back to our CEO. Let's go back to our CEO. It's saying revenue is down by 30%. So the first question which comes, which model should I build? Or the first question is, if this problem is even real? I want you to your engagement in here. What's the first question which comes? Okay. Okay, so yes, is the problem is real? Thank you. So the first question which has to come is the problem is even real? So I want you to live with this powerful line, because the quality of your answer depends on the quality of your question, but not on the model. Thank you. Thank you for the engagement, audiences. Thank you. Thank you. And again, let's go to our CEO line, to our CEO as well, from our beginning story. But except now, this is a hypothetical scenario. And it's something what it happens in real life. And that's one morning, the leadership was looking at a report they depended on. But what happens was the numbers couldn't make a sense. And the trend was different from what they have expected. And immediately, teams and peoples are starting to ask questions. So let me go back again. Let me ask you, was this business, was it like because this business is performing badly can be one of the question? Or is it because there was something wrong is done operationally? Perfect. Or can it be a system issue? Or was it like the report is itself wrong? Because this is the conversations that we often have in real problems. Perfect, perfect. Yes. Um, correct. I like that. So I say that I can see root cause investigation. Yes, exactly. So it's interesting. The first thing to investigate first is the root cause. Interesting. Yes. I thank you for audiences. Thank you very much. So here's the thing. Many people still think the data science starts when you build a model. But in reality, data science often starts with a doubt. And the doubt which always comes is, can I trust the data? So that's the beginning thing in our investigation process. Okay, so what actually is after investigating the problem, it was not AI, actually. It was not machine learning, or it was not a dashboard as well. But what happens back from our CEO is the issue came down from a data validation and as well as from a business logic. So what this means is like a small issue which was created upstream, which upstream means our data source where the data is originating. That's what we call it, the upstream. And it gives a much larger issue, which is downstream. And downstream is where the data is reported and the data is getting used. So this issue has created this problem as well. So this is something I want you to, the big lesson I want you to give. And that's the smartest person in the room was not the one who could build the most advanced model at this time, but it was the person who could ask the first question and the right question as well. So let's pretend you are interviewing for your first data science role tomorrow again. So the interviewer asks you, the customer churn increased by 20%. What do you do? I just want a quick of your responses in here. What change? Perfect. Because the goal in here is not finding the perfect answer though. Because my goal in here is I just want to learn how you think. Okay. Perfect. I want more engagement. What do you do? Okay, I need more engagement. Okay. Of the churn, correct. The fundamental cause. Interesting. Thank you. What happened? Perfect. How? Perfect. Perfect. I like that. What happened? Thank you. Thank you. What could be the cause? Interesting. Interesting. I want you to keep always, I want you to notice, I don't want a perfect answer. I just want you like what makes it your perfect, your why. Interesting. Perfect. Perfect. I would like to turn raise 20s. Yes. Completed to what and over time spirit. Thank you. Thank you. So Thank you. Thank you. So let me take you why I have. So by now, you have probably noticed a pattern. And the pattern is whether it's a dashboard failure, a customer churn problem, an interview question, or a different AI project. I'm just keeping them to approach it the same way. So I want you to I'm going to introduce you to my framework, how I approach the same way as well. And this is like over time, I have realized a simple framework to stop myself from jumping straight into solution because I used to jump in my earlier career to solution. So here are the 4 steps that I use. The first step is the problem, which is the P. And it's firstly is to define the problem. What problem are we actually trying to solve? You would be surprised how many projects fail because people never agree on the problem. So my first framework is the P, the problem. And the next is the Q, the question. So that's the second is asking a better question, which is before collecting a data, before building a dashboard, before training a model, it's important to ask, what do we need to know from the problems that we're trying to solve? And the next one is I'm going to take you to a data, which is here. And the data is, imagine, it comes on the third, but not on the first. And this is because a lot of people start with the data and they hope they will discover the problem. But great analysts starts with the problem and then collect the data. And also, collect the right data as well. And the next one is I will go with A, which is the action. And the action is the final action, which is if nobody acts on your analyst, you haven't created a value. So I want this moment to be memorable, which is data science is not a modeling exercise, but it's a decision-making exercise. So I will ask you a quick question now. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. I want you a quick chat in the chat box. Who's the big elephant in the room? Perfect, knowing the problem helps you collect the right. Perfect. I need more engagement. Who's the biggest elephant? One more engagement, one more answer. So I will answer it by myself. It's gonna be AI. Excuse me. Every conference, every LinkedIn post, every tech podcast, someone asks the same question, which is, will AI replace data scientists? I want to hear your comment, your answers. Will AI replace the data science? I can say yes and no, or maybe. I need this answers as well. What's your answer? Will AI replace? Interesting. No, perfect. Perfect. Data science not replace them. Perfect. Yes. AI helps data science. Interesting. Perfect. Perfect. No, interesting. I'm listening a lot of no, which is very much very interesting. No, that's it. Amazing audiences. So let me answer it myself in my own perspective. As Mikal, I can say my answer is both. I can say yes and no. Because AI will replace some tasks. But it's a no because AI, but it's not going to replace people's tasks. So it's a yes and no, in my own opinion. So it's very interesting to hear it's many no's, which is amazing. Kudos. Uh, in here is one of my answers is, of course, AI is becoming incredibly really good at execution, which is it can write codes faster than me. I know that it can summarize documents faster than me. Even can generate dashboards faster than I do. But also I have to talk something um, in the human side as well, because AI doesn't attend in leadership meetings, as well as AI doesn't understand organizational politics, and as well as AI doesn't know what keeps its customers awake at night. So the future won't belong to the people. That's one of my powerful statements I want to pass it, because the future won't belong to people who compete with AI, but the future will belong to the people who know how to work with AI. So I will ask you this one a question again. If you had 6 months to prepare for a data science role, where would you spend your most time from our pyramid? I want your chat in here. I want your answers in here in the chat box. To see what I need. Asking questions, interesting. So let's see from my communication, business thinking, meeting SQL and Python, perfect. Business thinking, interesting. Business thinking and communication, yeah, all can take care of. Nice. Communication, business thinking, communication. Critical thinking, SQL. Perfect. Coding, nice. So let's go in here is I understand Python is important, SQL is important, but they are not enough. This is one thing I want to say. The bottom gets you noticed, but this top gets you trusted. Which is being said, the most successful data professionals I have met till date are translators, because they translate the business problems to the data questions. And data insights as well into business decisions. Perfect. So, can I share my biggest career mistakes here? Sure. So, for a long time, I believe the next opportunity for me was just one course away. One more Python course, one more certifications, one more machine learning project. But there are moments I keep asking myself, like, what technical skills am I missing? But eventually, I realized I was asking the wrong question, because the question was not what tool should I learn next, but the question has become what problems can I solve? Because here's the strong statement that I have is careers accelerate But when people trust your ability to solve problems, that's why they trust you, but not when you memorize the most tools. So I have one, I just need a few of your engagements in here as well. And this is what I want to ask. How many of you have you ever felt like you're not ready yet? I just need a hand raise. Perfect, perfect. Mm-hmm. I felt the same enough. Thank you. We're on the same boat. Me too. Perfect, perfect. I have two. I'm here. I have two as well. And here's the thing, and most professionals still do sometimes as well. So it's, it's a normal thing. Perfect, perfect. Thumbs up. So next is there is this one question I always get, and that's, how do I break into data science? And this is what I give to what the simple advices that I give. And the first one is start simple, which is you don't need to learn everything else. So the first thing is, what I can say is, be in the beginner mode, but learn how data is stored, learn how to ask questions with the data. And of course, it's learning the basic tools, which is Excel and SQL as well, because they help us to query data and to play with our data as well. And the next is intermediate level, which is learn Python and statistics. And now you can start analyzing and predicting. And the third step is, which is the advanced level. And this is where careers really change. And that's, can you influence decisions? Can you communicate clearly? And can you help leaders understand what matters? So if we are at this level, we are advanced. So this is one moral I wanted to leave you again. And that's technical skills gets you hired, but business skills get you promoted and noticed. So let's go back again from where we started. So let me remind it again. Keep it the answers on your head from our first slide. So having the scenario, our Monday morning scenario, when our CEO sends a message, when our revenue was down by 30%, and when our profit are down by 40% as well. So I want you to ask you again, and I want some few answers in this chat box. What would you do first? I want to take few answers from the chat box. Few engagements. So what I wanted in here is, at the beginning, I want you to clear up how your answers could be different from the beginning. Because remember, at the beginning, many people wanted to build a model. Perfect. Access the data. Find out the why. Interesting. Validate the data. Interesting. Good point. Occurring set, if we had, yes. Asking questions. I love that. Perfect. Perfect. Because remember, again, at the beginning, we were talking all about our head was about building a model. But now is, I like that you are saying, asking questions, validating assumptions, investigating the data. That's interesting. That's very strong. So that's what I want you again to come up with, because that's the difference between learning a data science and thinking like a data science. And I like that everybody now is thinking like a data scientist. Perfect. Therefore, one thing I want you to remember is, and that's if you remember, only one thing from today is data science is not about building models, but it's about solving problems. And one thing you always come, it has to come in our head is models change, tools change, technology will change, but the ability to solve problems will always be valuable wherever aspects of our career will be. So before you leave today, I want to challenge you. So are you guys ready for our today's challenge? Or for this week's challenge as well? Sure, after somebody come up in this challenge, I would be very happy to be connected over LinkedIn, or I will also post my GitHub as well. I'll be very happy to discuss the challenge. So this week, I want you, one of this challenge is this week, don't start another tutorial or don't start another course, but I want you to find a real problems. So I will give an example of some of the real problems that can come to your head. And that can be personal finances. There can be your problems, fitness, education, maybe customer experiences, maybe small businesses. But I want you to find a real problem. And then finally, I want you to apply my framework, which is PQDA, problem, question, data, and action. Because that's how data scientists are built. And I would be very happy again to discuss the problems. Again, this is how data scientists are built, not by consuming information, but by solving problems. So we are ready to be problem solvers. So and outside of my work, this is one thing I want to leave you out. Outside of my work, I have been experiencing a personal research project around how people connect with one another. So most platforms at this moment are just built across profiles, swiping stories, and different kinds of introductions. Therefore, at this moment, I'm curious whether people might connect more meaningfully through a short stories or others instead. Therefore, in order to better understand what truly value in building connections, I have created a very short survey. Again, Janelle will be sharing it, and I would be very happy to appreciate because it takes 1 minute of your time to complete it. And finally, if you would like to contribute, also the same thing, I would appreciate your input. And if you like to say or stay connected, I'm happy and I'm available. Still, the same thing. My GitHub and LinkedIn is shared. Is going to be shared. So whether you're a student, career changer, or already working in the field, your perspective always would be incredible, valuable for me. And I wanted to thank you for helping me to be truly into this amazing community. And I'd be, happy to take your questions and answers from our session. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, this is an incredible session. I know that I learned a lot. I love the PQDA formula, and I think we definitely saw that in the chat as well. So, for those of you who are on your phone and or even your laptop, if you can just go ahead and click this link, I dropped it in the chat. Would love for you all to just go ahead and complete this quick survey as well. Or, I love this. Thank you so much, Mikhail. You can scan this QR code. You can scan it as well. It should only take, like Mikhail mentioned, just about 60 seconds. So let's just go ahead and do that before we jump into Q&A. As you all know, especially those who are in our scholarship program, please ensure that you have dropped a question in the chat. I only saw a handful of questions. That is going to be our attendance for today. So please ask a very dynamic, really cool question in the chat for us to grab. While those questions come through, also wanted to share Mikhail's LinkedIn here too. You see a lot of love. Yes, this was an incredible session.
Thank you.
Super thankful for our guests. We see a lot of love in the chat for you, Mikhail. Yes, it was such a great and engaging, exactly, great and engaging
Thank
presentation.
you all. Thank you all.
Amazing. For those of you who are in our data science, data analytics cohort, put hashtag data squad in the chat. I know the people have been asking for more data content. So I hope we have obliged you all. And thank you so much. It is our 6 year anniversary. We made 6 years May 29th. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Awesome. Okay, we can jump into some Q&A. I'm seeing questions coming in the chat. Again, just more love, more love. Thank you, thank you. All right. Oh, wow, we have a lot of data folks in the chat. Oh my goodness, we love that. All right. So first question, Madam Mikael. Um, so what would you say is the difference between a data scientist and a data analyst?
That's a great question. So the difference among data science and analyst is, let me make it very short, is data science always uses past history, and then they use it to predict. Those folks are, they're going to predict for the future. So more of like is they are going to create their time on from prediction from the past and um, predicting to the future. But whenever we talk about data analysts, are those people who spend on the data aspect, and mostly are about cleaning and making, preparing the data what we have for the data scientists, and also making as much as we can is um, to never have any messy data to validate or anything, just regarding working on the data which comes back from our sources. There are, like, of course, data engineers and everything, but the data analysts are on they work mostly on creating, analyzing, creating dashboards, part of the data. So that's the simple differences.
Absolutely. That was a really great response as well. So I hope that answered your question, Chimdia. Have another question in the chat from Salama. I hope I'm saying that right. Salama. How can we develop the ability to understand business problems?
That's interesting. That's a good question. I can say to understand business problems is, it's not something an easy thing that we can just develop like right away. But is the first thing comes by is understanding. We have to understand whenever we have got a big chunk of problems. It's just the first is to deal to understand our domain knowledge or our domain experts that we have, whether it can be in finance, it can be in health, and different kinds of experts. And then the next thing is we have to be able to break the problem into small chunks. So I understand it can be one page, a page and a half, sometimes the data problems that we can be given to solve. So the thing it comes is just this shouldn't overwhelm us, the big chunk of the problems that we've been given, but it's just to have the most insight we come up is we have to break the problem into small pieces. What do we understand? What is it talking about? So it's better to play, just to give it a time, something with our critical thinking, just to give it a time, but it's just to break it into small pieces and to create connections. So one thing what I do is always, I like to do it as just in a piece of paper. So I draw on some connections, and I try to connect it's just like a puzzle, I just like to connect the data, the problems actually with what is being given.
I love that. That's a really great answer, and I hope that did answer your question as well. Had another question in the chat.
Perfect.
What would you say is the daily role of a data scientist? I feel like you hit on that at a high level, but if you had to say one more thing about this, what would you say?
Again, can you repeat it?
Yes, what are the daily roles of a data scientist?
Oh, cool. So the daily roles of a data scientist looks like is there is of course first let me say that's a great question, but a typical day can say that it might start understanding the problem, because most of the time there are customers, it's just related, let's for example let's take about customer churn. So it looks as just understanding the problem, because why it's increased, why a dashboard looks very wrong, why a process become, so you spend most of majority of your time understanding the problem, because the business problems is most of the time is very complicated. So yeah, then to gather data and then you explore it, and then quality, that comes the next process. But I'm just starting at the beginning part, which is the problem part. So that's where it wraps up.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Amanda. We have another question from the most amazing Bree. Hey, Bree. You mentioned that you don't think AI will replace data scientists, but you do think it will replace some tasks. Could you elaborate on those tasks a bit more?
Perfect. So that's a good question as well. Thank you. So of course, I why I say it can replace it and it cannot replace it is because always tools are getting evolved. We reach to the strongest tools at this moment. We can say Open Cloud or Cloud AI, right? So the tools are keep on evolving one by one. So where is just where we as humans we can't compare ourselves with what the tools are coming by. But one thing is just thinking, if we try come if you come up to think in the tools side, there are the tools where most manual labor is creating, that's not going to be that's going to be replaced. So, like it can be, for example, it's just if you say an Excel sheet, more manual Excel sheet, of course, they're going to be, it's going to be replaced and it's going to be automated. Of course, some companies they do that as well. But if I say no, is talking about communication, communicating is with the stakeholders, understanding, because also communication with stakeholders is one final aspect of business. I mean, sorry, a data scientist as well. So the same thing. That's where the AI would not, it couldn't come in the middle. And the same thing. There are these are some of the human aspect side where the AI is not going to replace it. So I can say is getting crisp, business problems, understanding the business problems, understand, and also creating on your critical thinking, and also in your communication. That part of the side is the more human side. So yeah, that makes me it's not gonna be replaced.
That's a really great answer as well. Thank you, Bree. Megan has another question. Where would one start? Where would a person start to learn Excel as a beginner? What steps would you advise?
Okay, so to learn Excel as a beginner is the first thing, if I'm in your shoes, what I would do to learn Excel is have a roadmap. For example, maybe you want to finish it in 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You just have a time frame, and then within this time frame, there are Coursera have some courses. Um, there are something I can come up is of course Coursera. Udemy is a good one as well. I use Udemy. You can take whatever the course. It's a crash course, and Udemy is it's a good course I rely on. And there are these are some things which comes to my head. Maybe YouTube as well is the same thing, but those things can ramp up actually to learn your basics. But the next to it is also it's important as well to just practice. So you go on open data sets, you download open data sets in Excel, and you just play with it. Because if you just learn, or like look from YouTube or one course or something, maybe it's not going to be helpful if you don't practice with it. So having, for example, Kaggle, I'm just a big advocate of Kaggle. I use Kaggle. There are like always open data sets that you can download and you can do, So if you play with those, I think it's helpful. Within 2 to 3 weeks, it's like you can be good in Excel.
Awesome. Thanks so very much for that question as well. We have another question from Adela. He said, "Is it better to have a professional experience in business domain, whereas we act as data analysts?"
If I understand it correctly, if to be have a professional, I mean, does it mean like to have a professional experience in a business domain while you are a data analyst? Does it mean like this question?
That's a good question. Adela, if you could just drop a clarifying point, we'll come back to your question. In the meantime, I'll go to the next one from Salima. She says, as a data analyst at Boeing, what percentage of your day is actually AI related versus traditional data work? And has that ratio shifted in the last 2 years?
Um, your my data AI related. I can say my one of I mean my most of my jobs it's in a traditional data work. It's not an AI related actually, which is a good thing. And and has it what's it called? Has the ratio affiliated in the last 2 years? Ratio, right? What does it mean this ratio? I don't understand it. Which ratio?
I'm not too sure, but Selena, if you can also put this in the chat, we'll have a clarifying. We'll circle back here as well. We have one. I'll take maybe two more questions if you're open to that. Mikal, are you open to it?
Two questions. I'll take two
Perfect.
questions.
I know we're over time. I just noticed that. Vanessa says, "What's the single piece of advice that helped you improve as a data scientist slash analyst?" I guess.
So the single, I can say the single piece of advice I would like to give is have a patience, be patient, and always on a daily basis. I just give up myself is I come up to change from a tool for the mindset of like only tool focused, but just to understand more on the problem, what the main problem it is, and just I give it a time aside to just work a personal project on my own and understand like many problems because in our daily life there are a lot of problems that we need to give emphasis and focus on. So this helps to have an attachment with what you're doing.
Awesome. And last question: can you share a challenge that ultimately helped you grow professionally?
Um, yes. So one of the challenges can be is finding what you exactly just even though you are like in that field, but it's just not knowing what's the end goal because there's a lot of paths. You want to take this path, I want to take that path. So just to be very clear and crisp in what you are is that can be one of the challenge.
That is awesome. I hope you all had a really great time today with the most amazing Mikhail. We're super excited and grateful to have had you. Mikhail, if there was one thing that you wanted to make sure that everyone here today left with, what would that be?
Oh, okay. One thing I would love to is I would love to hear your stories about your challenges and what have you done, some of the challenges that I gave, and I would love to proceed and move on my LinkedIn. Yeah, so this is one thing I want to hear.
Amazing. I literally just dropped her LinkedIn in the chat, so please feel free to go ahead and shoot Mikhail a request. Also, please don't forget to fill out the survey link. Mikhail, let us know if you're starting to see some responses.
Okay,
That would be great as well. And then lastly, I think Mikhail also shared her GitHub. So if you all wanted to leverage that as well, maybe to contribute to her wonderful open source code, feel free to do that as well. And I'll put that on the screen. So again, thank you so much, Mikhail. Thanks for being a part of our community and our speaker series with Girls Who ML. We of course invite you to join us again, and look forward to seeing you a part of our community.
perfect. Thank you. I'm so happy to contribute to the community. I appreciate all, and I'm happy you've got some takeaways, all of you. And yeah, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Mikhail.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And as you know, we are hearing you. We hear you. So for those of you who are saying, hey, Chanel, we need more content, diversity of content, data, cybersecurity, things like that. I want you to know that definitely just continue to give us that feedback so that we can give you what you want. Yes, we can definitely have a project manager next. I see some more feedback coming in the chat. We love to see it. If you enjoyed today's session, let me see some fire emojis in the chat before we close out. As we know, it is the summertime, and we are closing out on our Grow with Google cohort. I think we have less than 2 weeks left in the cohort. So don't quote me. I think so, but if that is the case, we're super excited to see you all have gotten thus far. Again, if you are a part of the data squad, business intelligence, advanced data analytics, please make sure that you connect with Mikal. It's super important to make sure that you have individuals that you're connecting with that can be potential mentors, and make sure that you are going on the right path, especially as the industry is changing so much. Mikal mentioned something I thought was powerful. We got to stop this learning cycle and actually begin building something credible. So build credible. Mastery should only be the credential. And of course, we want to do that here at Mentor Me Collective. So I see some fires in the chat. We love to see it. Thanks again for the survey as well. Please make sure you thumbs up this video. Like this video right now before you close out this window. Give us a nice thumbs up. As you know what I mean? We're out here to make sure that we continue to provide programming like this, programs in general, like our scholarships, for free, so that you all can have access to education, mentorship, and of course, people to do life with. So thank you all so much for tuning in today. We look forward to seeing you next week. Next week, we're going to be in July. Okay, baby, we're almost to the end of the year. That's crazy. But we have another special one next week, so we're super excited about that. Like I said, just let us know if you want to see more specific content. We're hoping to bring more people in. But until next time, au revoir.
Think I've been here before. I know that I must have met you in a past life. Got my heart on the floor. Go slow. Keep me falling for you all night. Tell me now, you're the one I've been dreaming about for my whole life. Had you on my mind, oh. Hear the sound of your voice in the crowd, calling my name, yeah, you captivate, oh. You captivate me, baby. Cover me in a dream of love. You're pulling on my sanity, it does seems. I need you next to me. Can't get enough. I don't wanna miss your energy. So tell me now, you're the one I've been dreaming about for my whole life. Had you on my mind, oh. Hear the sound of your voice in the crowd, calling my name, yeah, you captivate, oh. You captivate me, you captivate me, baby, baby. Ooh, it's almost too much to take.